So, since I have been forced back into the NEET lifestyle, which I am okay with, I think I prefer the NEET lifestyle. There are benefits to working a job, obviously. Yeah, but I made a whole video about that recently, so you can watch that if that's the topic you're interested in. But today, I wanted to talk about the shame of being a NEET. Because there is a lot of shame associated with this lifestyle. If you live the NEET lifestyle, people in your life, people on the internet, just anybody at all that finds out about the way you're living your life, they will try to shame you. And I don't think it's necessarily, I think people should feel shame if they're doing something that's wrong. But I think in most cases, for most people, and I think it is the case for me, and I apologize, by the way, it is raining right now and I'm sitting in my car, so I don't know if that's going to be messing up the audio, hopefully not, but yeah. So if you hear something weird, that's the rain. But anyways, for me, I don't think it's wrong for me to live this way. And, it's only been one day so far since I've been back to the NEET lifestyle. But already, both of my parents, so my mom and my dad, they both know that I got fired. And despite the fact that I was fired completely unjustly, completely unfairly, my boss hit me in the head with a broomstick. I didn't do anything wrong. So it's, even with that said, my parents are they've already started. This is the day after I got fired, and my parents are already laying it on thick, putting the shame on me. Because I guess to them, I had been living the NEET lifestyle for however many years, at least 5 years, 6 years. It's been a while. It's been a while. And I think my parents were kind of, they were used to it. And in a way, I think I actually kind of screwed things up by taking that car wash job, because now it's like they see that, oh, he can get a job and work a job. He can do that. So now they expect it. And now they want to try to make me feel like I'm a bad person because I don't want to, because I had this discussion. I talked to my dad on the phone, and I talked to my mom in person about this situation. So I basically had the same discussion with both of them separately. And we had the discussion where basically I said, I'm fine with this. That job wasn't even really worth it to me. I told them the same thing that I've said on here. I think I said in my last video. Yeah, the extra money was nice, but I was still basically working for slave wages. It wasn't enough for me to move out, start a life on my own, not even close to that. It was just enough that I could continue living with my mom and, I just had a little bit of extra money. It wasn't much. And I only worked there for like a month, a few weeks. I got like 3 or 4 paychecks. It wasn't much. And yeah, the thing is, it was absolutely not my fault I got fired. But yeah, I kind of just played myself by taking that job in the first place. Because now my parents expect it. They think, like when I talk to my dad. So he called me to talk about this because I guess when I told my mom what happened, she called my dad at some point or texted him, I don't know, to tell him about it, because basically my mom didn't seem like she really believed me when I told her what happened. I don't know. She seemed like she thinks, because she didn't. I even asked her, I was like, do you not believe me? Do you think I'm making this up? And she said she believes me, but everything she was saying and the way she was acting was as if she doesn't believe me, because she was acting like it's my fault that I got fired. So if she believes what I told her, the whole story, which was the truth, then she wouldn't be acting like it was my fault. So I think she just thinks I was lying, and that's why she called my dad, and he called me, and he definitely thinks that I'm making it up, because, I was just on the phone with him for at least 5 minutes of the conversation. I mean, we didn't talk that long, but for at least 5 minutes, we were just arguing back and forth, with me being like, I told him the story, exactly what happened. And he was, what did he say? He was like, is that the best you can come up with? Is that the best you can come up with? So he obviously thought I was making it up for whatever reason. Which pisses me off, because I have not lied to my parents very much at all throughout my life. Yes, a couple times, I have lied to them a few times just to try to get out of trouble or whatever when I was growing up. But it's not something that I've ever done regularly, and it would be very uncharacteristic of me to tell a lie about the way that I lost my job, just with all that happened there. And the other thing is, I'm pretty sure both of my parents, they don't think I'm lying about my girlfriend. So that's another thing that's kind of confusing, because that's what led to me losing my job, is the Indian girl. So I don't know. But yeah, I had to argue with my dad about whether or not what I said actually happened. And I don't think he believes me. He pretty much said he doesn't believe me. He thinks it's a bunch of BS. Whatever, he's welcome to his opinion. I would say I don't care, but I kind of do care. I think my dad should believe me when I'm telling the truth. That doesn't make me feel good that he thinks that about me, that I would make something up like that. He might as well be in the comment section on my videos, if that's what he thinks. We spent 5 minutes, or I don't know, which was maybe half or a third of our conversation, just arguing about whether or not what I said happened. And then it was for the rest of the time, he just was basically talking trash, just trying to shame me because I told him I don't plan to start looking for another job right off the bat, because I only took that job in the first place because, I told him, so my dad basically got me that job. So I told him I only took that job in the first place because you got me the job. I wasn't really looking, and I don't plan to look for a replacement job. And it sucks because he doesn't understand how the job market is, especially for someone looking for programming jobs. So he thinks because of my degree that I should easily be able to get a job. But he wasn't even going with that argument this time. He was just saying, you worked at a car wash. You could just go down the street to another car wash and get a job there. And that might be true. I don't know. Yeah, maybe if I walked into another car wash down the street, they might hire me. They probably wouldn't, because if you don't know, car washes tend to be like the summer and the springtime are the busy season. Basically, when it's warm out, that's when people are more so getting their cars washed. So they're probably not doing as much hiring now that it's just now starting to cool off. I know some of you, depending on where you live, you're like, just now starting to cool off. It's almost November already. Well, where I live, it's just now starting to cool off. Like this week was the first week it actually got a little bit cool. And I do mean a little bit. Yeah, so my dad just, he wants me to get another job. I told him, it's not worth it. And it's the same thing I told my mom. It's not worth it because it didn't pay that much. And because I had to go to that job, that meant I had less time to spend with the baby. And I think that's more important. Now, he was taken care of while I was at work. Most of the times when I was working, my mom was off work because we just worked our schedules out like that on purpose. So if I was at work, my mom would be watching him. When she was at work, I would be watching him. But there was at least a couple times where my mom wasn't able to get off on a day that I had to work, and so we had to have my aunt come watch him, which, if you don't know, my aunt is the baby's grandmother because he's my cousin. He's my first cousin's baby. Yeah, so either way, he hates my aunt. She's watched him plenty of times. I mean, she spent a good amount of time with him. He doesn't like her. He actually, in the past couple weeks, actually, he's kind of starting to come around to her. I don't know why he didn't like her in the first place, because she takes good care of him, as far as I can tell. I think it's just that, she has a bit of a old lady smell. I don't know what it is, but a lot of old women have this kind of smell that's not good, and my aunt kind of has that smell. So I think maybe that's why he doesn't like her or hasn't liked her. But I think what would be best for him, and what is best for him, is when I am taking care of him. My mom also takes good care of him, but she'll be showing him videos on her phone, just whatever, she'll just be scrolling through Facebook and she'll just show him reels or shorts, whatever they call it on Facebook. She'll just show him whatever garbage slop pops up on her algorithm. And she doesn't think of how that, maybe that's, just some complete deep fake AI generated brain rot garbage. Or even if it's not, it could be something real, but it's probably garbage. And so, he's at his best. He's being taken the best care of, honestly, by me. The best thing for him in his life and the best thing for his development is if I am there for him. And when I had to work at the car wash, that meant that I wasn't there for the times that I was at the car wash. I wasn't there for him. And, like I said, he was taken care of, but I can't help but feel a little bit guilty about it because he wasn't taken the best care of, because he needs me there. And so, I told my mom that, but I didn't want to say exactly to her that, I didn't want to make her feel like I think she's not taking good care of him because she's not horrible. Like his needs are met, but she didn't understand. She didn't accept my arguments. She tried to shame me for being a NEET and wanting to live the NEET lifestyle. Obviously, we didn't use the word NEET. I don't think either of my parents know about that acronym. But like I say, I had the same discussion with my mom and I had the same discussion with my dad. And when I was talking to my dad, so he's not a blood relative of the baby. He likes the baby. He's met him. I brought him over to my dad's house before, and my dad has played with him a few times. He likes him. They get along. But also, my dad kind of doesn't understand why I take such an active role in his upbringing, which I get it, but I try to explain to him, look, I'm basically the only male figure he has in his life. And obviously I'm not a good role model, but he needs to have a man in his life, like at the very basic, like modeling at least the very basic level of normal masculinity, if that makes sense. I don't know if I explained that well. And I don't think I explained it well when I was talking to my dad either, but it's like, I think we can all understand a child growing up needs to have something resembling a father figure. If their own father isn't around, then they need at least like an uncle or something, right? That will spend some time with them. And honestly, the more time, the better. Up to a certain point, of course, but I just feel like the baby is better off if I am able to stay home more. And I have been texting with the Indian girl some. I go back and forth calling her the Indian girl or my girlfriend. It's whatever. That's when I say my girlfriend, I'm talking about the Indian girl, vice versa. So I've been texting with her today too, or we were texting. It's like the middle of the night now. I'm about to go to bed after this, but she has not said anything to me about, that I need to start looking for a job and really getting on the grind now that I don't have a job. She hasn't said anything about that yet, which, it was just yesterday that I got fired. And if we're, it was her fault. It was her fault. I don't blame her because obviously she had no way of knowing that just her telling her uncle about us was going to result in him taking the drastic actions of firing me and assaulting me like he did. But that brings me another point. My dad was like, like I said, he didn't believe my story. And he wanted me to send him a picture of my head showing bruises because I got hit in the head with a broomstick. But the thing is, I don't have a bruise on my head. He hit me in the head with a broomstick. I think he landed like 4 hits, 3 or 4, maybe 5, I don't know. But none of it, like it hurt when it hit me, but it wasn't like that bad. I don't have any bruises. My head doesn't hurt today. It's not like I got hit so hard that it still hurts the next day. It didn't even still hurt after 15 minutes. It wasn't that bad. So my dad thinks that because I can't send him a picture showing bruises or sores on my head or whatever, then that must mean that it just didn't happen. So I've really gone kind of off on a tangent here. When I pressed record on my microphone, I intended to be talking about the NEET lifestyle and how society and everyone in it, including your parents, your family, your friends, if you have any friends, everybody wants to shame you for living the NEET lifestyle, when the fact of the matter is, the vast majority of us living this lifestyle, we don't, it's not like our ideal choice, but it's the best option we have given our circumstances. And that is the truth for me right now. It's not worth it for me to try to get another job at a car wash. And I already know the job market is done. It's over for code cells. Programming jobs don't hardly exist anymore. Obviously, there's some, but they're not hiring me. They're not even giving me a chance to even do a phone screen. So I'm not gonna try. And, you know, I make a little bit of money from YouTube. That's not guaranteed to last forever, obviously. I'm at the mercy of rogue YouTube censorship AI bots that just want to ban everybody left and right. So, you know, I could get demonetized. I could get my channel terminated. It is possible that could happen. And then I would have no income. But for the time being, I have a very small income. It's not much at all, but it is something. A few $100s a month. In fact, you know, the last month was my best month ever on this channel, earnings-wise. But it still wasn't much. And that's obviously, you know, the views have already slowed down from the peak. And I don't think it's going to go back up. I mean, every now and then, if I keep posting videos, every now and then one of them is going to take off and get a little bit more views. You know, kind of like that, your youth defines you. I think that's what I called the video, where it had the thumbnail of the evolution ending with the virgin Wojak. That video did really well. It got like 17,000 views or something, I think, by this point. And I'm just saying, you know, every now and then I'll make a video that, for whatever reason, takes off in the algorithm, and it performs well, like that one. And that gives me a lot more views across every other video. And that's how I ended up having a pretty good month overall. Just off the strength of that one video, I think the algorithm kind of pushed a few of my other videos that I don't think would have performed well otherwise. Or it may have just been because a bunch of new people, like people new to my channel, found that video and they decided to check out some of the other videos I've made recently. I mean, that's probably at least partially what happened, but point being, I have some form of income, so I'm not completely unemployed. My dad doesn't know that I make any money online. My mom, I don't even remember. She knows about the channel, but I don't know if she realizes it makes money. I can't remember if I told her that. She acts like she doesn't think that I'm making any money, so I don't think she knows. And I really don't think that she's been watching these videos, because there's been several videos where I've explicitly said, like, hey, Mom, if you're watching this, fuck you. And she is the type of person, I think, that if she heard that, she would say something. She would get really mad about it, and she would confront me about it. So I think she's just not watching the videos. So I'm kind of working under that assumption, but also it's like, whatever. I don't really care. It's not like, you know, I'm not really saying anything on here that she doesn't already know. Or maybe I am. I just don't really care. I mean, that's part of like the life circumstances that would lead someone like me to choosing the NEET lifestyle over actually working or actually attempting to find a job. It's the same life circumstances that lead to me being a 36-year-old guy that lives with my mom and is at the point where I just don't really give a damn anymore what she thinks. And yes, I love my mom. I love my dad. We're a very happy family. You know, I kid, we're obviously kind of dysfunctional. They're divorced. I'm me, you know, but we love each other. So it is what it is. We argue a lot, you know, it is what it is. But I don't really care that much what my mom thinks. I don't really care that much what my dad thinks anymore. They try to shame me. And in the past, even like a year ago probably, if I had that same conversation on the phone with my dad where he was shaming me for not wanting to look for a job, I would have just pretended like that I agree with him, and I would have just been like, okay, fine, I'll look for a job. And I would have just told him I'm looking for a job. I may or may not have actually looked for a job, but I would have told him that I am, just to kind of get him off my back. But now it's like, I am past that point. It's really starting to rain pretty hard right now. I don't know if any of this recording is actually going to be usable because of the rain. Jesus Christ. But like I said, I'm past the point of caring what my dad thinks. I'm past the freaking point of even caring that the audio in my video is going to be fucked up because it's raining so goddamn loud, and I'm sitting in my car in the driveway right now, and I'm going to have to walk back into the house and get fucking soaked. I don't want that. But whatever, who cares, whatever. I'm being dramatic. I don't care if I get wet. Big deal. But I am past the point of caring about... I'm getting to the point, you know, believe it or not, I am like a little bit of a perfectionist. That's probably not even like the right word to use. I'm not really a perfectionist, but basically, I always care about the quality of the content I put on this channel. I care about if the video is entertaining or not. Believe it or not, it is kind of just slop that I'm churning out. I understand that, but I'm not giving you total slop. I'm bringing you real words from my heart, from my brain. There's no AI in this, despite what some of you think. This is me. This is just me talking. And if you don't believe that, then I challenge you to download the transcript from one of my videos. I'm pretty sure there's a tool, some kind of software you can use to do that, and upload it to one of those AI detection softwares and see if it hits. See if it hits. This is just me talking, okay? It's not Chat GPT or anything. But all I'm saying, you know, I care about, and I always have, I care about the quality of the content I put out. And especially with the thumbnails, I've put a lot of work into some of my thumbnails. Some of them not so much, but sometimes I put a lot of effort into it. And I know people have noticed, people have told me that I have good thumbnails. Some people even think that must mean I'm a federal agent because my thumbnails are so good. As if, and just think about that for a second. I don't even think it's like that outrageous of a conspiracy theory to think that federal agents, FBI, CIA, whoever it is, I don't know. I don't think it's that outrageous to think that they would make a channel like this on YouTube to try to infiltrate inkwells and convince them to try to do bad things so they can arrest them or whatever it would be for. I actually think they might be doing that. I wouldn't be surprised. But do you really think they would make the thumbnails I make? Like, would they make high quality thumbnails? You think they would make good thumbnails? No, it would be trash. I make good thumbnails because I had a YouTube channel before and I know a little bit about graphic design because I've used Photoshop. I used, what was it called? It was like Jask. Jask was the brand. It was basically like Photoshop, but it was like Jask animation something. And this was back in like the early 2000s, and it was a software similar to Photoshop. And I used that when I was a kid. And I used Photoshop, a pirated version of Photoshop that I downloaded off LimeWire back in the day when I was a kid or a teenager. And I've used GIMP for 15 years, 10 years, at least 10 years of experience with GIMP, not just for thumbnails, but just for making memes and whatever. When I was younger, I used to make avatars and banners for signatures on forums. Some of you might know what I'm talking about, but yeah. My thumbnails are good because I have graphic design experience, because it's something I've done as a hobby for a long time. And I don't know why you think the FBI would do good thumbnails. They would probably have the worst thumbnails out of anybody. But who knows? I don't know why I don't know. And I don't care. That's what I'm saying, okay? You think I'm a federal agent, then fine. You think I'm lying, fine. You think this is ChatGPT wrote this, fine. Good. I don't care. Because I'm past the point of caring. The shame doesn't matter to me, okay? I'm a fucking NEET. I live the NEET lifestyle. I'm forced to. It's not that I want to. It's the best option I have given my circumstances. And I'm past the point of caring about when people try to shame me. Your stupid shame tactics. I don't care. I do care a little bit, whatever. I kind of do care a little bit, but I don't care that much. I care less and less every day. I'll put it that way. This video, you know what? I will post it. I was about to say I might not even post this video because I don't know if I just went completely off the rails, and I'm not even mostly talking about the shame of the NEET lifestyle, because that's what I wanted to talk about, and then I went off on one tangent and it led me on another tangent, and I don't even know where I ended up. But here we are, and it's raining, and the audio's probably going to be completely screwed up. But that's what you get. I might not even make a thumbnail. I might do I don't even know. I'll probably make some sort of thumbnail, but I don't know what it's going to be. Not going to spend too much time on it probably, because who cares? But yeah, a quick girlfriend update, Indian girl update. We are going to be going out tomorrow night, which I'm really looking forward to. So I'm going to pick her up at her house, and we're going to drive together to this fancy restaurant about 20 minutes away, I think, something like that. And hopefully we're going to have a nice time. I already mentioned this before, but we've talked about we are going to kiss a lot. She said we can kiss a lot. That's what she said. So we're going to be making out, I guess. Probably just sitting in my car in the parking lot after dinner. And I mean, you already know. I'm really looking forward to it. So no amount of shaming and shame tactics that my parents are putting on me right now, or shaming from anybody else in society, and people leaving dumbass comments on my comment section, none of that matters to me right now, because tomorrow is gonna be something, probably gonna be a good time. And yeah, I know I sound pathetic, like I'm a 36-year-old man and I'm talking about how excited I am to kiss a girl, but I haven't done that before, so I'm looking forward to it. Making out. Yeah. And I'm gonna try to get my hands on something. Squeeze, grab and squeeze. Honk, honk. You know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna see what I can get going. I might get denied. That's okay. I can be patient. That's okay. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's about it for this video. I just want to say, while I'm just talking about anything and everything that crosses my mind in this one, really, I don't say this enough. I really do appreciate all of you that watch my videos. Even those of you that you comment on every video with some kind of hate comment, like, I'm gonna call you out, QWERTY Rhino. Every single video talking about, you don't belong here. When are you gonna realize you don't belong here? You know, I don't know what your problem is, but even you, I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you that you watch my videos. Thank you. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart. I never expected that I would get any kind of following, and it's not a big channel, obviously, but just that it's like, I'm actually now able to, I can talk about my life, and there are people that listen to what I have to say. They listen to my opinions. Not they, you listen to my opinions. You disagree. Most of you seem to disagree most of the time, but it's really something special, I think, that I have people. It's almost like having a friend to talk to. I get to talk about the things that I think need to be talked about, or just vent about what's going on in my life or whatever, and you guys keep showing up and watching my videos, and you give me feedback, which I do read. I read almost all the comments, by the way, even if I don't reply as often as I want to. It's just, I have been really busy. Maybe I'll be able to reply a little bit more now that I don't have a job. Probably not, because I am still busy, but I appreciate you guys. I really do. And I don't know. I don't say it enough, or I don't know that you guys really understand how much I truly do mean that. So yeah, there, I said it, okay? So if you're new to the channel, if you liked the video, if this was entertaining to you, probably not, go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching.